Welcome back, Irish fans, to Breaking Down Braves Boys podcast. Back after yet another loss, three in a row against Division I opponents for Notre Dame. And tonight was maybe the ugliest of them all. Texas A&M, I think, was a much worse loss because I think this Illinois team is a lot better than Texas A&M. But tonight revealed essentially all the holes in Notre Dame men's basketball and the team in general. Notre Dame was out-athleted, out-defended, outshot when it mattered. Out-rebounded. Couldn't hang with Kofi, which not many can. I'm not really worried about that. They're not going to see another player like Kofi basically the whole season except maybe against Duke. But after Illinois was hitting threes, Notre Dame couldn't do anything against them. And, this was a horrible – I wouldn't say a horrible showing for Notre Dame because if they hit a few more shots, they're back in this game. And they actually did get back in it. This isn't going to get talked about whatsoever because of the negativity around the program, but it's a feat that they kept this game close. The way they weren't shooting, they weren't hitting shots. I think their percentage was high. 38% from three isn't horrible. 45% from the field isn't horrible. But the fact that Notre Dame hung around in this game and kept it somewhat close to where they could hit shots and get back in the game, that's a good sign to me. Even when you didn't have Prentice Hub didn't score again. Paul Atkinson, games with 10-plus points is snapped. He had 3 tonight, didn't really give you much. Couldn't really do anything on the boards, had 5 boards. And Kofi had – how many did Kofi have? There's no way Kofi only had 8 rebounds. But Kofi seemed to get any rebound he wanted to. Atkinson fought down there, just didn't really give you much tonight. Trey Wirtz hasn't given you much of anything this year. I really like Trey Wirtz, but he was 1 for 6 tonight with 2 points. A lot of it's on Prentice Hub, but I think a lot of people like to ignore Trey Wirtz because not saying people necessarily have an agenda against Prentice Hub, but he's always the one getting blamed. And they're going to need more from other guys too. Prentice Hub's definitely not helping their case right now. I really hope that the shooting gets on track. I think it will. Maybe it will over Christmas break, but right now it's not looking good. I'm going to keep saying it's going to. I mean, I tweeted out something like he scored 20-plus points against a bunch of great opponents as a sophomore and had some really good games last year as well. Let's stop acting like he's not talented. Like, he's in a major slump. Cormac Ryan was as well last year, and Cormac Ryan just hasn't shot the ball super well at Notre Dame in general, but he's getting to his spots, getting good looks. I'm more concerned with that, but eventually somebody has to start hitting shots. Notre Dame scored 70 tonight. Sure didn't seem like it. I think most of that 70 was Blake Wesley, who major bright spot tonight. I think that was the only thing keeping Notre Dame Twitter from erupting. Just Blake Wesley, major props to him. He did everything he could to keep them in this game. This was kind of his coming out party to Notre Dame fans and to the country in general. National TV game. Played really well. Defended. Shot 9 for 12 from the field. Maybe he'll hit another shot. There's 19 seconds left. Has 24 points at the moment out of their 70. Blake Wesley has been awesome. I thought he was going to be good coming out of high school. I was higher than him on most people even. His senior year, I thought he got so much better. And I thought he was really good in AAU ball. And I thought I was super high on him as a senior, and he's better than I thought he was. Like, performances like this just confirm everything I've been thinking about him for years. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't super high on him as a junior, but as a senior, I thought he was going to be one of their best players this year, and he might actually be their best player. I said he wasn't earlier, and then I was thinking about it, and I was like, maybe he is their best player. Based on looking at all this, he had an unbelievable game today. Great showing against a team with some really good defenders on it. Nate Laszewski had a decent showing as well. I thought he could have done some more. He had 13 tonight, but Kofi couldn't guard anything on the perimeter. Couldn't really guard much either inside. He's just not agile really whatsoever. But Kofi couldn't guard anything with Nate on the perimeter, and Nate couldn't really take advantage of it too much. So I thought he was okay tonight. He was hitting shots. He looks like the Nate we saw last year now. I just don't know if he has the ceiling to take over a game like they kind of needed him to do tonight. Blake Wesley really had to shoulder that load. And I'd like to say I called the Blake Wesley game. I said at halftime he looks like he's primed for his big second half, and he scored 22 in the second half. Maybe it was 20 in the second half, but still. And then I said in the pregame that he's in a nice spot to have a big breakout coming out party game like he did today as well. So happy with what we've seen from him. Not happy with Dane Goodwin was really good today. Maybe not really good, but he was good today. He's been good all season, steady. And he's like the best out of all the seniors thus far. He's had every game he's had a solid game. He's hitting shots efficiently, 3-4 from 3 last night. And I'm really happy with Dane Goodwin's progression. I thought he could kind of be a breakout guy. I didn't necessarily see it, but he's just been so much more consistent. I don't know that his defense is great yet. They don't put him in great spots a lot of the time on defense, especially when they go small, but I think he's got a lot better. Cormac Ryan, I think, like I said earlier, has got to his spots. He's taking good looks. They just haven't really fallen. At some point, those have to fall. Like, he's got to hit those shots at some point. Wanted to talk about Elijah Taylor as well. He said he was fine on Twitter after the Texas A&M game, and he is certainly fine. He played pretty well when he was in there tonight. Did a little move on Kofi and got to the rim. And then he scored 4 points, shot 100% from the field. 3 fouls. Kofi is a horrible first matchup for a guy playing his first real college game. So I'll give Elijah a pass on not really guarding Kofi. He's also like multiple inches shorter than him, so he should have not really been on Kofi. The thing was they should have taken one guy out of the game tonight. Or the thing Notre Dame had to do tonight to me was they had to either stop Kofi, which wasn't going to happen, or stop the shooters, and they didn't really do either. The defense tonight was brutal, abysmal, whatever you want to call it. Illinois scored 82 points and shot 40% from 3. Maybe Andre Curbelo would have brought that number down a little bit. Illinois did have essentially their whole team besides Curbelo, and Curbelo hasn't been playing well anyway. But yeah, I mean, Illinois lost to Cincinnati by like 20, and Notre Dame lost to them by 10. I think Illinois was a really brutal matchup for Notre Dame with Kofi. They don't have the size to guard him, which is why I think they need a transfer in the offseason as just a body to kind of combat that. But, I mean, Notre Dame was just overall outplayed by Illinois. This would have been a big win even without Curbelo to me. Now Notre Dame falls to 2-3 in Division I play, and 3-3 in general, I guess. But on the night where Brian Kelly decides to leave the Notre Dame football program, and there's a lot of uncertainty with that, and then Notre Dame plays like this, things aren't great for Notre Dame sports right now. They will. There is some sign of hope. J.J. Starling was in the crowd tonight. Blake Wesley played really well. Then you got other stud young guys who hopefully can really help. And by the time they're seniors, hopefully we're not relying on the freshmen to contribute like Blake Wesley did tonight. If you told me that Blake Wesley had 24 points against Illinois in the preseason, I would have thought that Notre Dame won this game by like 10 points. Like, if you're getting that out of Blake Wesley, your senior should give you enough to where you beat a team like this, who I don't think is all that good even. Like, Illinois was a bad matchup for Notre Dame, but I've never been a big Illinois guy. Like, before Kofi decided he was coming back when this game was scheduled, I thought Illinois was a mid-tier Big Ten team. So, like, this isn't some powerhouse that Notre Dame lost to. Mike Bray seemed really concerned about Kofi, and I was too. That's why I'm somewhat okay with this loss. They're going to have to turn it around, but Kofi's a immovable object down there, and that's the thing that really killed Notre Dame tonight. And the other thing was that they just couldn't hit shots when they needed to. Like, the percentages don't look that horrible. 36 from 3, 45.9 from the field. That's not horrible. But you have to hit shots when they matter. And Notre Dame didn't do that tonight. So back at it on Friday against BC. I guess the Notre Dame football coaching search will probably dominate the headlines, especially if this team doesn't get going. But I thank you guys if you're still here for watching this. Props to Illinois. They played a really solid game, especially without Andre Curbelo. And Kofi Coburn just completely dominated Notre Dame tonight. Wasn't super shocked by that, but Notre Dame's going to need more out of some of these guys, and I'm not confident they're going to get it soon. So keep following. We want this to be the place to be post game, and you'll see a lot more videos like this where I'm a little bit fired up, assuming that Notre Dame doesn't start playing well soon. I think they will start playing a little bit better, and my hope is that since the ACC doesn't look that great, they can win some games against teams that are not Illinois and don't have the athleticism of Texas A&M. Virginia didn't look great tonight. Boston College, I think, is better than they have been. They're not that great, though. I think the only three teams that I don't have much of a hope of Notre Dame beating in the league are Duke, UNC, and FSU. The rest of the teams I think Notre Dame can beat. Even Syracuse. Syracuse doesn't defend anybody. So I'm not sold that the season's over for Notre Dame, but they're certainly going to have to start playing better and have to start getting more out of their guys. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you if you're still here, and talk to you later. Peace.